fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. Today, I want to tell you about 3 women that have inspired me. Because of these 3 women, I want to inspire others too. I want to be number 4. My amazing mom is 98 years old. She doesn't care how rich or how powerful you are. If you've done something that bothers her, you'll hear from her. Last year, I got a call at work. My mom was upset. She was trying to reach the White House, but their lines were busy. So I said, "Mom, wait till tomorrow. Maybe you'll get through." She did, and she got through. I pity the people at the White House. I know she gave them an earful. My mom taught me to stand up against injustice. When I have something to say, I write to anyone that will listen. This year, I wrote a prayer against racism and I shared it with my church. I stood there, alone at the podium, worried about what others would think about me, but I had to say something. My mom taught me that my voice, my thoughts, and my opinions matter. Even if I'm the only one to stand up, sometimes that's all that's needed to turn the tide. In my 20s, I had a hard time fitting in. I tried so hard to be demure and petite and oh so sweet. Because after all, that's what was expected of a woman back then. Florence Hutchings didn't fit in. Her dad owned a hotel in Yosemite Valley, California, before the turn of the 20th century. Visitors to the valley were often greeted by a crazy person who came riding a horse, swooping down into the valley wearing a cape and a cowboy hat. And when the rider took off the hat, they realized it was a girl and not a boy. Florence Hutchings died at the tender age of 17 after hiking in her beloved mountains. It was John Muir, her friend, and the famed naturalist that suggested a mountain be named after her. Mount Florence. Florence Hutchings didn't fit in, but she had a mountain named after her. Florence taught me the joy of loving myself even when I don't fit in. I don't merely accept myself, I actually love myself. I'm wonderful, I'm beautiful, and I am loved. Florence also taught me the joy of being a nonconformist. Sometimes it's easier to be creative and to be a nonconformist when you're thinking outside the box. It's easier because you're already living outside the box. Years ago, I came up with an original idea. It was called the American History Film Project. It's a nonprofit. Kids from all across the USA, who in many ways may not fit in, make a film about something in their local history. Then they share it with their community. And then we share it at a national film festival. All those films across the country are shown outside the Washington, D.C. area. These kids teach us through their shared stories that we can come together and be stronger. we're changing lives with the American History Film Project. When I was young, I often watched a TV show about American heroes. And one night, there was an episode about a young girl who was not much older than I was at the time. As a child, I was lonely and afraid, and I desperately needed a friend. In a way, Harriet Tubman, enslaved African-American woman, became that friend to me. As a child, I was bullied and abused. In elementary and junior high, kids taunted me. They would take my things and throw them to the end of the street or around the school bus. And in high school, I was sexually assaulted by a male student. Harriet Tubman inspired me. As a slave, she endured physical abuse, but she never gave up. Instead, she escaped to freedom and came back around and rescued 70 other slaves. If she could go on and endure and make such an incredible difference, so could I. That night, as I watched the episode of her life unfold, I felt in some strange way as if she was reaching out to me, as if to say, "You're not alone." Harriet Tubman also inspired me in the way that I reach out to others in need. In the 1990s, I started a program through my church for homeless kids. And for 9 years, I helped give them hope. These three women have inspired me. My mom, Florence Hutchings, and Harriet Tubman. In the world today, everybody wants to be number one, to be the best. Sports teams, music, TV, film, and even car rentals. If I could be on the list with these three women, if I could inspire others the way they've inspired me, I'm okay with that. I just want to be number 4.